Plaintiff Janine Galvin says she thought she had a future with the defendant until he got another woman pregnant and disappeared for 5 years. Janine is suing her ex-boyfriend for the down payment on a car and car payments. Defendant Anthony Bandinelli Jr. admits that he made a mistake when he cheated on Janine and impregnated another woman. Anthony insists Janine knew he could not afford to pay her for the car.
Start with you.
Tony was my future. I was giving up everything to be with him and to help raise his kids that he had with a woman he had cheated on me with. It started 7 years ago. I had a summer job in Buffalo at a warehouse where he was working. And we started up a friendship, which continued when I went back home to Connecticut and turned into a relationship.
How was that? What was that like?
It was great. I didn't think that I could ever be loved like that again.
There's a song like that. I know I'll never love this way again. No. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Name that tune. You'd be pretty good. You got that in 5 seconds. Everything was great. You never thought you'd love that way again. And how could something so great end up so bad?
Well, the first time.
Plaintiff Janine Galvin dated the defendant until he impregnated another woman and disappeared for 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
The first time he had come down to Connecticut to visit, and when he left, I didn't hear from him again. I called and he didn't answer my calls. He didn't return my calls. His family finally told me to stop calling because he didn't live there anymore. Well, I didn't know what had happened.
Was he in jail? Did you come to find out?
He was not.
Oh.
I thought that I had done something wrong.
On a crack binge? No, I'm trying to think of all the reasons when you try and contact someone, your mate, over and over and over, trying to think of something other than he was with another woman.
I thought it was me, that he had gotten so upset with me.
What did you find the reason why?
He had gone to a party, got drunk, and slept with someone, and she was pregnant. He didn't know how to tell me. And I didn't hear from him for 5 years.
Wow. Okay, so he came sniffing around a few years later.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
He found me online. We started talking a little. He told me what happened. And I kind of understood that he needed to be there for his family. Do the family
thing. You forgave him.
And it was a long time. And, Your Honor, love is blind.
So what happened this time?
A few months after being together, I was planning on moving up there. I was in the process of selling my house. I went to my department head and was going to ask him for a letter of recommendation so I could look for a job in Buffalo. And before I could ask him, he let me know that he was stepping down as department head and wanted me, if I was interested. I told him about the conversation I had with my department head. And before I could tell him that I turned down the position, he got very upset.
Before we go further, let me allow him to give some background.
Well, first of all, I made a mistake a long time ago, and I got drunk and went to a party, had a one-night stand, and she ended up pregnant. I didn't know how to tell Janine, or basically I didn't have the courage to tell her that, I'm going to have a child. So then I had the moral dilemma.
Didn't make a mistake, by the way.
Well, it was a mistake having a one-night stand.
It was an unplanned pregnancy.
Right.
That's all.
But I really wanted to be with Janine.
When we talk about mistakes for children, that's not.
Well, no, it wasn't. The mistake was not having the child. It was just who it was with.
Okay. All right. So you made the mistake and you were kind of afraid to tell her. That's understandable.
I didn't know how to tell her, didn't have the courage to tell her, so I kind of
broke up. Now, when you resumed, how was everything then? When you resumed the relationship, was it all right?
Great. Yeah, because
why did you all fall out?
Because she accepted the position. She accepted basically her dream job. And we live in 2 different states.
Okay. So when she told me at the beginning of her testimony that you were her future.
Right. I feel the same.
At some point, she changed her mind and kept that other job.
Right.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the car. $3,560 you're suing him for on a down payment on the car. What happened there?
In October, his car had broken down, and he was going to school and trying to get the kids to daycare and to be watched and go to school themselves.
Were you all living together?
I was still in Connecticut, and he was in Buffalo.
Okay.
And his car broke down. So I went up there, and we found a car that we would get together. And then it would be our car when I moved up there that he would drive until I got up there. So I paid $2,000 on the down payment for the car.
For the car that you intended to be jointly owned.
Correct. And we both are on the loan. And I've paid 8 months of $195 for a total of $1,560 on the loan. And he has not paid anything. And he refuses to sign the title over to me. So I'm suing him for what I've paid on it.
Okay. You don't think it should be half because it was jointly owned?
I haven't had the car. And
I
he
understand.
won't give it back to me.
That wasn't part of the agreement, was it? The agreement was, I'm going to buy this car for us.
And I still have 3 years to pay on the car, and I don't know
I understand, ma'am.
what he's going to do with that.
But when you buy something that you co-own, that's just it. You own 50%, he owns 50%, regardless of who's paying for it.
Plaintiff Janine Galvin dated the defendant until he impregnated another woman and disappeared for 5 years.
Go ahead, sir. Let me hear from you.
Basically, I was on unemployment. I'm a single father of two. I only made like $800 a month. My rent was $600. She knew that there was no way that I could make payments on this vehicle. Our intentions were that, we were going to move in together. The vehicle was for me to take care of my kids and get back and forth to work. She knew that it was going to be hard for me to make any kind of payments until after school was out, after I'm done with the unemployment, and, I get a job.
When did you all break up?
The end of January, beginning of February.
When did you first ask for repayment or return of the car?
Probably in February.
And you said what?
That I was going to keep helping him out, and I would pay until he got out of school.
That's changed, or that's what you intend to do now?
That's what I had intended to do.
Okay, so you intended to keep paying?
Just till he finished school.
You finished school?
No, I still have another year to go.
Did you know that?
Yes. Till he finished this year was the deal.
Now you're saying it was till he finishes this year.
Right.
First it was until he finishes school. Ma'am, I'm only going to be able to grant you 50% because that's the amount of ownership I believe you have, because your first testimony regarding the car was that I bought it for the both of us. And you planning a future with him, planning to live with him under what would be seen as common law terms, then you have joint ownership. And you intended for it to be jointly owned because say you bought us a car. So I'm going to grant you half of the $35.60, and that's how much?
$1,780.
And sir, you must then sign over the title. So when you sign over the title to her and she is the exclusive owner, then you'll receive, ma'am, the $1,780. Otherwise, sir, you'll pay the entire judgment. All right, judgment for the plaintiff.
This is the last piece that was tying us together, and after this, I'm gone.
I don't think I showed her how much she cared and how much I cared about her and how much she meant to me, and maybe I could have made the decision for you to accept that position a little harder.